Alrighty, yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94, back with another reaction video. Today, we finna react to the Forgotten Fairly Odd Parents special. By the thumbnail, I already know what it is, but y'all might not know it because y'all ain't seen it yet. But then again, when I put the thumbnail up, y'all probably know too. But without further ado, man, let's get right into this. Forgotten Fairly Odd Parents special. It was arguably their best special, by far. Very great special.
The Fairly Odd Parents have had quite a few specials premiere during its runtime on Nickelodeon, and one of them that always remained in the back of my head was Abra-Catastrophe. I remember the Muffin, the Planet of the Apes, but not much else. And yet I vividly remember this special so well at the same time. So I decided it was time for a rewatch to see if Abra-Catastrophe is even any good. So the movie starts with this Star Wars type battle, and Timmy gets his hand fucking cut off, and Cosmo is revealed to be Darth Vader. Timmy falls, potentially to his death, and Wanda transforms him into the Arachnakid, and he swings right into fighting the Green Goblin, who keeps telling Timmy to tell his secret. The Green Goblin is about to get Timmy, and they're poofed into Jurassic Park. Timmy is about to get cooked by T-Rex Wanda and peels out of there, recreating an iconic scene from Jurassic Park. Wanda asks Timmy what his secret is as she's chasing him, and Wanda knocks Timmy's car off a cliff, and Timmy falls down the cliff only to be eaten alive by the dinosaur. He freaks out from the stomach of the beast and poofs back home to reveal a surprise fairyversary party set up for Timmy. And there's actually a lot of discourse online about how this fits into the Fairly Odd Parents timeline. This actually completely breaks the timeline of the Fairly Odd Parents. Timmy should have had his first fairyversary years ago, and they skipped it, and now he's having his second first one. It's really confusing. It turns out Cosmo and Wanda were asking Timmy what his secret was to see if he would reveal that he has fairies. Jorgen's there, and he freaks out at Timmy's butterfly net, and Wanda explains that nets are the one object fairies' magic have no effect on. The party gets going, and meanwhile, Crocker is driving his pedo van down the street disguised as an ice cream truck. Sus, very sus, to track down Timmy's fairies. During all this, the fairies actually stop the party to explain that most kids have lost their fairies by the first year, and go on to explain that a kid can lose their fairies if anyone else learns that they have fairies, and they'll be gone forever. Which is kind of a bummer. Why not just let Timmy enjoy his party? Also, this kind of retcons Channel Chasers a little bit, because in Channel Chasers they explain that most kids outgrow their fairies and don't need them anymore, and now they're saying that most kids don't keep their fairies past the first year because they can't keep them a secret. So, what's the truth? Wanda tells Timmy that she poofed him up a magic doorknob that will make anyone who touches it forget what they were doing to help keep his parents out so they can enjoy the party. Then there's a crazy ass music number that sounds kind of like School's Out the Musical, and I'm loving it. There was a lot of work put into this musical number. You can really tell there was a lot of effort. It sounds very catchy. So why the fuck isn't this a musical? Putting a song at the beginning of the episode special makes it seem like it's gonna be a musical, and I kept waiting for the next song to pop up and it never did. So the party ends and Timmy's going over all the magic gifts.
Cause this ain't the Disney Channel, bro. Take your ass to the Disney Channel if you want to see musicals. This is Nickelodeon. They give you one musical. They give you one musical per special. It's a specialty they do. One musical. That's it. We good.
He received, and Jorgen pops in and gives Timmy one final gift, a magic muffin. Whoever eats the muffin can grant an entirely rule-free wish. Kinda dangerous. Why not just make it so Timmy's the only one who can use it? It's a fairy product. They must have produced it themselves. They must have baked it up with magic. Why not just magically make it only work for Timmy? I don't know. The second Jorgen pops out the muffin, Crocker's tracker instantly picks it up as a muffin-shaped object also, and he tracks it to Timmy's house and prepares a professional net to capture his fairies and steal the muffin. Meanwhile, Cosmo and Wanda then go into the backstory of how they were assigned to Timmy in the first place. Timmy's mom wants to go out, but Timmy's dad doesn't want to hire a babysitter out of guilt of missing his childhood. They eventually decide to tell Timmy they're traveling to Africa to give those children his leftovers. He cries at the thought of being left alone as his father records his misery, and Timmy finds a flyer for a babysitter service that he calls himself, who is no other than Vicky, and Vicky instantly tries to burn Timmy alive and ruin his entire collection of childhood videotapes as soon as she's hired. That's crazy. At least get a foot in the door first. And yet she still never got fired. Even more evidence showing that Mr. and Mrs. Turner are psychotic. They're psychopathic. It's ridiculous. Also, insane manipulation to pull on a child. And if I'm gonna give him credit, Mr. Turner didn't want to go through with the plan, but Mrs. Turner forced him to follow through with it, making her the worst parent by far. But maybe that's because Timmy's dad never did anything for him to help around the house, and she had to cook and clean and take care of Timmy full time, so she more so wanted time off. I don't know. And that is how Cosmo and Wanda got assigned to Timmy. And Timmy actually forgot this story, and he is rightfully pissed hearing it back from Cosmo and Wanda. and now he thinks his parents are nothing but dirty liars, which pretty much they are. Timmy says, "I wish my parents didn't lie to me," in a kind of sarcastic tone, not really as a real wish, but Cosmo and Wanda grant the wish anyway. Timmy confronts his parents at breakfast and asks if they ever lied to him. They say yes unwillingly and get stressed by the loss of control for their own body and run off. I would too. And let me just say that Timmy's breakfast is absolutely unacceptable. It's just a slice of bread. There's no butter, it's not toast, it's just a slice of bread. It's nothing else. Timmy is on his way to school and Crocker is still outside his house selling ice cream out of his van when he is surrounded by an entire community of children trying to buy ice cream. And yet Timmy's already late for school. Not only are all these kids going to be late for school, but Crocker himself is going to be late for school. Timmy makes it to school and is acting all nihilistic because all adults lie to him, and AJ actually brought his pet monkey to school, and Crocker rolls up late and shoots a fork in the principal's ass trying to steal Timmy's muffin. That's assault. I'm pretty sure is it a felony? Timmy runs off and drops the muffin, and a random muffin man finds it, eats a bite, then wishes for mouthwash because the muffin tasted like shit. He puts the muffin on a tray and rolls it away. So this jackass is trying to sell a muffin that he already ate. That's a violation of some health codes. It's gotta be. Timmy wants to go get the muffin back right away, but is forcibly shoved into class by an entire riot of kids. I don't know why these kids are so excited to go to school. I don't get it. Meanwhile, Timmy's parents watch old home videos to see if they really lied to Timmy all of the time. And they lied on the first clip of the very first tape that they decided to watch. Back at school, Crocker is eating chalk and Timmy wishes for his muffin back, but his fairies can't poof it back to him because the muffin magic is more powerful than the magic of a fairy. Class finally ends, but Timmy is chained to his desk by Crocker so that Timmy can't beat him to the muffin. This is false imprisonment on a child. This is a crime, and I do believe it's a felony as well. Timmy wishes to be broken free and then breaks into the lunchroom to find that it's Muffin Monday. AJ thought it was Monkey Monday. That's why he brought Bippy the monkey. Timmy's trying to find his muffin before Crocker can, and it's not looking good, but Timmy starts a food fight at the last second, and the muffin ends up being thrown. Timmy frees AJ's monkey Bippy so that he can have fun in the food fight, and the muffin ends up going to the monkey. The monkey takes a big old bite of the muffin, spits it up, then starts levitating. He's making a monkey wish, and part 1 comes to a close. As far as part 1 goes, not much really happened. Timmy got his muffin, he lost his muffin, and that's about it. I mean, yeah, the monkey got the muffin, but we don't even get to see what his magic wish was. Maybe part 2 will get a little bit spicier. So as part 2 begins, the entire world is being transformed into a jungle banana kingdom, and in the wide shots of planet Earth, it looks like all the water is turning green and being removed from Earth entirely. That's not sustainable for life. Timmy is rightfully upset, so Jorgen pops in and rips Cosmo and Wanda back to Fairy World, and now Timmy is forced to deal with this himself. Over in Fairy World, Cosmo and Wanda are actually in Fairy Court, being charged with the monkey getting the muffin and changing the entire world. Jorgen then brings out the rules and explains that all fairies must be assigned to the dominant species on Earth, which is now monkeys. And then a cute monkey-themed intro starts to play, and it's adorable. Cosmo and Wanda are now Bippy's fairies, and they're pissed about it. Meanwhile, Timmy's parents are trying to figure out how many times they lied to Timmy, and they're up to 5,000, completely unaware of the Jungle Kingdom overtaking their world. Timmy wakes up in a panic and realizes he doesn't have his fairies anymore. He decides to find the muffin, but needs to go to school first. Priorities, right, Timmy? He decides to try to steal some gear from Crocker to help him track down the muffin, and during class, Crocker is ranting about wanting to rule the entire Earth, all of man, and all of apes. The ape overlords get mad and carry Crocker off for disobeying their society, and presumably are going to torture him. Then Timmy sneaks to Crocker's lair and finds the magic tracker and goes after Cosmo and Wanda, and realizes they're in Chimpsdale, the forbidden city for humans to go into. Timmy throws caution to the wind and decides to infiltrate Chimpsdale. He's getting closer to the muffin, but Bippy runs off with the muffin and Timmy gives chase. He tries asking Cosmo and Wanda for a wish, but they can't help it because they belong to the monkey now. Timmy goes for the muffin and snatches it away from Bippy, but instantly gets caught by a security ape and loses the muffin. Timmy ends up in a security den with Crocker and everyone else who was caught in Chimpsdale. Bippy and the fairies are there watching as Timmy gets taken away by the apes, and they go after him, but Bippy loses the muffin and Crocker gets it. But luckily, he's not scheduled to eat until March. Timmy is about to be dissected alive by the apes, and Bippy and the fairies break in to help, but easily get caught by the apes. Bippy wishes for everything to go back to normal just before an ape uses Cosmo to forcibly cut Timmy's skull open while he's still conscious. Once everything turns back to normal, they all realize that Crocker and the muffin are both gone. Meanwhile, Crocker takes a chomp of the muffin, spits it up, then starts electrifying. He wishes he could capture a fairy godparent, then gets a net that instantly catches Wanda for him. She sacrifices herself to save Cosmo and Timmy. Crocker then runs off with Wanda, and news of this spreads back to Jorgen in Fairy World. He then says no more fairies can be on Earth to eliminate the risk of others being captured. Meanwhile, Timmy is trying to find Crocker and save Wanda and figures Crocker will be abusing students at school. So Crocker actually is at school, so he's very predictable in a magic muffin suit and harnessing Wanda's powers. He freezes a couple students to death, then turns others into toilets. Crazy. Timmy busts in to save the students and lures Crocker away from class, which is pretty selfless, especially for Timmy Turner. Timmy then wishes for a shield and Cosmo does it well, and Timmy figures out he needs to fight magic with magic. He then heads home to get all of the magical items he received from his Fairyversary gifts, as Crocker melts the entire school into a castle, then attempts to blow up the entire fucking planet from the looks of it. During all this, Timmy's parents are up to 14,013 lies they've told to Timmy so far, which is astronomically high. Timmy makes it home as Crocker's magic is right behind him and he dives under his bed. Timmy and Cosmo made it into Santa's sack just in time and they were protected from Crocker's evil magic wave. Then Timmy gears up with all his magical fairy weapons and is ready to take on Crocker, save Wanda, and get back the muffin. And part 2 comes to a close. Honestly, I didn't really love part 2 that much either. I feel like we didn't get to spend that much time in Chimpsdale. We didn't really get to learn that much about it. It was more blink and you'll miss it type speed, but maybe they can stick the landing. Maybe the ending will leave my jaw on the floor. We'll just have to watch part 3. Part 3 begins with Crocker chilling in his castle, hassling Wanda for no reason, then poofs to the hourly bowing down ceremony, and the entire world is presumably bowing down to him. Crocker uses Wanda's magic to make it rain shrimp puffs, and everyone cries in agony as if they're being stabbed to death. Meanwhile, Timmy is in a sick fit and calls out to Crocker in front of everyone. He reflects a wish back at Crocker and brings him down to his level. Crocker can't land a single hit on Timmy and actually turns a few people into shrimp puffs. I'm considering this a kill. Timmy's in these comedy glasses and Crocker just simply doesn't recognize him. They keep fighting until Crocker breaks Timmy's magic mirror. Then Cosmo shows up, roided up, and punches the shit out of Crocker. He used his favorite video, 5-second massive packs. I need a copy of that, Cosmo. Just before Cosmo beats Crocker, he gets distracted and gets sucked into Crocker's staff with Wanda. Timmy steps in and gets sucked into a magic portal conjured up by Crocker, and Timmy's floating through this vast emptiness of space and almost dies of oxygen loss until his magic glasses transform into a space helmet. These shows almost never have characters need oxygen in space, so it's pretty alarming to see Timmy almost die of oxygen loss. I don't know, that's crazy. Crocker shows up to battle Timmy in space, and Timmy jumps through the asteroid belt. He smashes Crocker's helmet out with an asteroid, and his face starts to get sucked out of his head, so he portals them away to Egypt, of all places. Crocker starts using the elements against Timmy since his magic won't work against him directly, and turns a Sphinx statue into a killer demon. Timmy tries throwing some egg grenades in the Sphinx's mouth, and he swallows it like it's nothing. Timmy then flies off, and the demon goes right after his ass, but Timmy uses some magic floss to take control of the beast and ride it towards Crocker. Crocker tries to fly away, but gets his ass bit out of the sky. Timmy confronts him and gets the poor Sphinx killed, which is just horrible to see. Crocker ends up sucking them both into another portal, and they end up on a subatomic level on Butch Hartman's Eraserhead, and they continue battling on top of individual atoms, and Crocker finally gets a hold of Timmy. But Timmy ends up breaking free and shoots an arrow straight through an atom. The atom splits in half and blows the entire fucking world to hell. Crocker survived the explosion using a special bubble that looks like a bubble from Mahamushi, and Timmy survived using Santa's secret sack, but gets hit by some turkeys that got roasted in the flames, and Crocker realizes it's Timmy Turner finally. Crocker then decides to hit Timmy where it hurts and go after his parents. Timmy tries grabbing onto Crocker with some floss and follows him into the portal, but Crocker snaps the floss and Timmy is thrown off away from them in the middle of transporting through the portal. He goes straight to his parents' house as soon as he can, but Crocker already has them in a bubble. Crocker threatens to transport Timmy's parents to the sun unless Timmy surrenders and finally gives up. That's fucking insane. Timmy asks for one last word with his parents before Crocker kills him, and he apologizes for getting angry with them earlier in the morning. His parents apologize as well and say that they love him. Timmy then decides to point out his fairies to his parents and points to Crocker's scepter and explains to his parents who his fairy godparents really are. Timmy's parents are instantly pissed that they still have to work for a living and that Timmy can't support them monetarily with their wishes, which rightfully so, I get it. Out of nowhere, the rules book ascends from heaven, opens, and starts to suck Cosmo and Wanda into the abyss. Timmy says he had to tell the truth about his fairies to be set free, and they get sucked into the book. The book closes and disappears. Crocker is absolutely pissed when he realizes he can't use magic anymore, and Timmy's parents completely decimate him. It looks like they're actually trying to murder him. The muffin bounces out to Timmy, and he finally gets to make a rule-free wish. He eats the entire muffin in one bite, spits it all out, and wishes Cosmo and Wanda were his fairies again. They come back, and Timmy wishes that everything was back to normal, and everyone forgot that he had fairy godparents. During all this, the fairies in Fairy World all cheer and flow back into Earth, and Timmy lands back at his normal home. His parents leave him to go to work and tell the truth that they're going to spend their money on dinner tonight and not his college fund. Meanwhile, Crocker is getting put into a straitjacket at school and given a high dose of medicine. Timmy's back at home and so happy that everything is back to normal. He's about to throw out the magic forgetting doorknob when Jorgen actually shows up. He tells tells Timmy that Cosmo and Wanda need to be reassigned for his careless acts, and then he throws the doorknob at Jorgen's skull. They trick him into reassigning Cosmo and Wanda to Timmy again, and he heads back to Fairy World, none the wiser. Cosmo and Wanda redo their cute introduction because they were reassigned, and they hug and share a moment of laughter with Timmy. Bippy is seen with a truck of normal muffins as the fairies in Fairy World celebrate on their way back to Earth. Crocker sees the fairy dust from his solitary confinement cell and starts to freak the fuck out as Cosmo puts him to sleep, and they all share one final laugh as the credits start to roll. Alright, let's start off by saying I'm not exactly thrilled with Abra-Catastrophe as a special. I remember back when I was younger feeling like this special was kind of a big deal and that the monkeys actually posed a real threat. Like, I was genuinely afraid the monkeys would murder Timmy as a...
No, the monkeys were just a segue. But this was still a goated special, by the way. I fuck with this special. This special was really goated because this was one of those few specials where you got the antagonist and the the protagonist actually facing off against each other instead of it, like this was the first time we got to see Crocker at his evilest. Like, yo, this is what really made Crocker like super fucking evil. Cause like in the show, you kind of feel bad for Crocker, but this special right here, this made you say, fuck Crocker.
a kid. But rewatching it now, it feels like we're in Chimpsdale for like 15 minutes and we barely have any room to breathe there. We don't even get to take in the environment really. Having the conflict split between Timmy getting the muffin from Bippy and Crocker wanting the muffin made both conflicts feel kind of thin and not that important. I never really felt the weight of Timmy's mission throughout the special. Also, the random musical number in part 1 is actually pretty good and sounds like School's Out the Musical or Fairy Idol, but there's no other songs at all in the special. It's extremely jarring to put one really banger song in the beginning of a special, then have it not be a musical. Why?
Bruh, you clearly don't know how Nickelodeon formula work with these specials.
Why not include it somewhere else in the special? Putting it at the beginning, to me, implies that this is supposed to be a musical, so I was a little let down by that. Another thing I didn't exactly love was the special being split into 3 parts. It was a choice, and I don't think I would have went with it myself, with part 1 being dedicated to Timmy getting the muffin, then losing it, part 2 being dedicated to Chimpsdale, and part 3 dedicated to Crocker being in control, getting beaten, then wrapping up the story. This leads to the special feeling more like 3 short stories than one cohesive long special, like Channel Chasers or School's Out the Musical. It also felt like the Crocker being in control portion of the story as well as the climax were extremely rushed, even compared to other parts of the special. It felt like an anticlimactic ending that barely even happened. The main climax of the story was Timmy having to reveal that he has fairies to his parents, then the fairies getting taken away. So Timmy being able to just wish that everyone on planet Earth forgets he has fairies kind of defeats the purpose of the climax. It makes it not exciting at all. And when it really boils down to it, it feels like the story was Timmy gets the muffin, Timmy loses the muffin, Timmy gets the muffin back, Timmy loses the muffin again, Timmy gets the muffin back for real, and the special ends. But to be a bit more positive for a little bit, my favorite part of the special was probably the introduction where they were going through a few old nostalgic movie scenes. It was super fun, it caught my attention, and made the special feel like a Channel Chasers sequel for a second, which that would have been dope. Imagine if we got a Channel Chasers sequel where they went through a ton of movies instead of TV shows. Another thing I liked about the special was a glimpse into Timmy being kind to other living creatures, which is not usually shown on the series. When Timmy frees Bippy so he can have fun in the food fight, it shows that he was thinking of someone other than himself. Timmy is usually seen to be selfish, so it was nice to see him give some love to some of the animals. He also lured Crocker away from the classroom to save all the children from being murdered, so that's also pretty selfless too. I liked that. And one final little touch I did like about the special was Timmy's parents showing some self-awareness. I personally feel like Timmy's parents can be very psychopathic towards him and not even want him to be alive, if we're being honest. So to see them so obsessive over all the times they lied to Timmy was a nice change, but I do think that they were still doing it to just relieve themselves of guilt rather than to make Timmy feel better. But overall, I think Abra-Catastrophe just didn't grip me the way the other Fairly OddParents specials have. The plot kept moving, but I wasn't really invested in it. The story was stretched too thin across multiple conflicts, and the decision to split it into 3 parts didn't really pay off in my opinion. If I had to rank this one, I would definitely put it below Channel Chasers and the first Jimmy Timmy Power Hour. It pains me to say that because I have a lot of nostalgia for this special, but honestly, it's one that I think you can skip without missing too much. But what do you think? Do you disagree with me? Let's have a duel in the comments. And hey, if you stuck around this long,
hey, I'm gonna say this. The Christmas special is the best Christmas. It's the best special for Fairly OddParents. I don't care what anybody say. That Christmas special that they did for the Fairly OddParents shits on every special. I don't care what anybody say. The Christmas special is by far the best special. It ain't even close. The Channel Chaser special is amazing. As we all know, the Timmy Jimmy Power Hour is goated. This was definitely another top tier special, but none of them are fucking with the Christmas special for Fairly Odd Parents. When I tell you the creator of Fairly Odd Parents was in they fucking bag on that Christmas special, they was in a fucking bag. But anyway, so that's just gonna about do it for this one. I'll see y'all in the next video. Till then, peace out.